Hi everyone, welcome to Pergola class. We're going to talk over price per pound. We're going to do some maths, and we're going to talk through basically what you're looking at from a pergola perspective, as well as just buying aluminum and how much you're going to pay per pound from some of the typical places you would look to buy. So we'll go over the price for the product itself, obviously the poundage of that product, and then get to the real question, because like when I go shopping, I'll look at volume prices to see how much am I paying per fluid ounce or whatever. And I think this is a helpful representation to see how much you're actually paying in raw material. It'll also give you a good idea in terms of the weight of what you should come to expect depending on the size. Just as a reference, these first four here are all going to be the same square footage or same size. So for everything that's on the imperial system, we'll be doing a 12 by 20. For everything that's on metric, which the two in the middle here are an odd size, they're a 13 by 19 as opposed to a 12 by 20 because they're a metric system. They're made based on metric components. And so they're different in terms of foot here on the imperial system. So just an idea, the square footage is going to be the same, or it's going to be about the same. It'll give you an idea of poundage per these units. And then the last one's a little different. This is going to be just a raw piece of aluminum at 8 feet with no painting, an angle that you buy at Home Depot. What does that look like cost per pound? So we'll go through this and kind of have some fun, and you can see kind of what you're buying and what you should expect. So, woo! Sold a perg. Good news. So we're going to save us for last. We're going to go through all these others first, just to give you a reference of what you typically are going to spend. We're going to start here with the Norwegian pergola. Now, when I say Norwegian, I'm saying that as a country. It represents an area or a group of products that say they're Scandinavian, Danish, Czechoslovakian is not anywhere near Scandinavia, but that general European fancy words that make us think high quality. We'll go through what those are typically on a 13 by 19. My help in the back?
$12,000.
$12,000. My brother's playing Vanna, and he's going to read out the prices and the poundage for me, and we'll do the math. So $12,000. Now, their marketing looks great. They say they're cutting out like 3 different people, and so it saves you a whole lot of money. 5 different people. Vanna's telling me 5 different people is how many they cut out. 10 different people. And the poundage for a 13 by 19?
350.
350 pounds. 350 pounds. That's pretty light. That gives us a price per pound of?
$35.
35. $35. So we have no frame of reference. $35. That sounds. I could spend.
It's $34.20.
Vanna just screwed up on me. Told me the wrong number. What is the real number?
$34.20.
$34.20. Now with no frame of reference, you think $34.20? It's aluminum. It's a nice component. You know, it should be pretty expensive per pound. But we'll get through these rest of these, and you can tell me if you still feel that way. Let's switch over to the commercial product, because Chinese, I imagine, is going to be pretty cheap. So let's do the commercial product installed. This is going to be a lot of different brands I can't really name, but typically you'll see them. They have high gauge aluminum components. Typically, they only sell it as an installed product through a dealer who's buying it from the manufacturer. So a 12 by 20 for commercial installed is how much?
$40,000.
$40,000. Now, $40,000, you're typically getting a pretty good deal. It varies region to region also. So $40,000 is about an average across the country. You could be somewhere like, again, I'm not going to diss any states, but you could be in some states where it's going to be less expensive or have better pricing because they buy in more bulk. Or you could be somewhere where you're like Detroit or you could be somewhere like Chicago. We had someone say they had like a 12 by, 19 by 8? And 19 by 8, they were going to be charged $40,000 for that size. Or 40 or 50 grand. I can't remember what it was, but it was something crazy. So $40,000. And poundage on that? 1,800. 1,800 pounds sounds a bit more reasonable. My price per pound?
$22.22.
$22.22. So if you were me or I was you or I was in the market for buying, I'd immediately think, well, yeah, it's more money, right? But you're shaving a third of the price per pound just because, and you're getting a better quality product. And that 40,000 is including the installation, which isn't part of this. This just ships to you in a package. So that's pretty okay. It's not incredible, but if you're willing to spend $40,000, you get a decent value, at least better than the alternative. Let's switch straight to a Chinese pergola. I want to see the cheap option. 4,700 for a 13 by 19. All right, for $4,700, how much does it weigh?
350 pounds.
350 pounds. It's weird that these are similar, given that people in Scandinavia, I suppose, use the same weight of components in China. I wonder where these are manufactured. Huh.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. What is the price per pound?
$13.43.
All right. 43 cents?
43 cents.
$13.43. Now we're talking. Now we're really, I feel like, okay, this is a decent price. Most people can probably afford that if they're in the market to buy something on the outside of their house. Your cost per pound is pretty good. Seems great, right? You install it yourself, but, at least you save a little bit of money. And again, your cost per pound is not quite, but almost half of this, which was already 30% less than this. So we're on the right track. Let's go to ours. Let's talk about luxury pergola and get an idea of our price. Now, we talk about our model and how you can see other videos. We can talk about how that works. But essentially, we buy it from the extruder. We used to sell it commercial to dealers, but now we just sell it direct to consumer as a kit product. We're really the only person that's doing that as a commercial grade product, but it means that you obviously save a lot of money. So I already know our poundage because we all here that work here know our poundage. I know how much I'm shipping out all the time. A 12 by 20 is 1,800 pounds. So the price for that, I think I know, but my brother's going to help me. $15,900. That's currently, this is 2023, November of 2023, just as a reference, in case our prices change in 5 years or 2 years or whatever. Our price per pound.
$8.83.
$8.83. That is better than these. So this is typically what we talk about when we talk about how we cut out the installation. We cut out the dealer and we cut out the install price. We're talking about how we're able to sell you the same product at a third of what you would typically buy per pound for a commercial product. So $8.83. Now the real question is, how cheap is that really? Now I could go buy to Home Depot. I could go down to Home Depot. I could buy aluminum there and I could build my own pergola. So why wouldn't I just do that? So this right here is an inch by inch. So 1 inch by 1 inch L angle. So it's just that shape and it's a 1/16 thick. That weighs 1.15 pounds for an 8-foot stick. This is non-painted, obviously not installed, serves no purpose, but just aluminum. Raw aluminum you buy from Home Depot. The cost for that is $13.98. So if we're going to be looking at cost per pound for just this aluminum angle, $12.16. So makes sense. It's cheaper than the Chinese pergola. It's a pergola. It's manufactured and sent to your house, but somehow it's still more expensive than ours. And again, this is what we're trying to explain when we talk about how much ours is less than what most people sell these products for. That is what we're talking about. And especially when you start thinking about, okay, let's say I took that raw, angle and I just bought the same 1,800 pounds worth of raw L angles from Home Depot, you would end up spending almost, about symbols, $22,000 just in raw aluminum from Home Depot. So you save money, just from raw to painted. We use the best powder coat we can find. We jig it for you. We send it to you. You're ready to build it. Obviously, it's packaged well so that it gets to you. This includes shipping, everything. You're ready to go. You're ready to build your pergola and be done with it, including some steel components as well, stainless steel components that we weld in-house. Now, right now, it's November, and we run a sale, at least right now, in November. We try to run really one sale a year. So in November, we're running our sale right now, and we're doing 11% off. So if you want to buy a pergola and you're planning for next year and you want the best price you're ever going to see out of our pergola, you would buy it now, and you'd be looking at a price per pound of
$7.86.
$7.86. Now, in my mind, I think that sounds like a very expensive Starbucks cup of coffee, really, per pound. So you just got to buy 1,800 cups of coffee. Let's see, if you have 4 family members and you go every day, how quickly do you make your money back? Yeah, it won't take you long at all. So, so this is just a little illustration of what we wanted to talk about. We were talking about it the other day in one of our meetings, our family. We were chatting about it. We were explaining how, on the phone, it's difficult to explain to people how good of a deal, frankly, you're getting compared to, given the quality of the product, what we're actually selling. Sure, you're spending a lot of money, no doubt about that. But if you're looking at a patio cover that isn't going to rust, isn't going to corrode, is going to be able to hold snow loads, wind loads, you're never going to have to worry about it. You build it once and you forget about it. I've got one on my house. It's easy to install. I built mine with my wife. This is as good, at least as I understand, because we've been in the outdoor space for a while, as it gets. So just want to give you an idea, price per pound. If you're interested in going and looking at our product or talking to us, you can go to theluxurypergola.com. You can subscribe here, and we'll help you out, talk about pergs, and maybe you're going to want to buy one. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Ribeye.
It's like $15 a pound.
All right, $15 a pound.
Damn.
You could.
It's still cheap.
So my point is, you could make an entire pergola out of steak, and it would still be more expensive than our product, unless you make it out of chicken, in which case then it's cheaper, depending on what chicken you get, I suppose.
But then what do you do in the rain, Harrison?
What do you do in the rain then? Right? You got all this beef over your head. Does beef rotate? Right?
A rotting beef pergola? Or do you want the luxury pergola?